Hi, my name is William, and I went on motts travel day out to um, Hastings on the 6th of August, and everything was going fine until I was supposed to get back on the coach. See, when I first arrived at Hastings, the coach driver told me and the rest of us that where we stop is where we get back on, and that was where the seafront is, where the amusement amusement park is, where the rides are and that and things. And just opposite just opposite the opposite side of the road, a woman that sat by me pointed out that there's a place called Cutters. So I said, okay, thanks for your tip. So he said to meet us here at 5 o'clock by the seafront, and I knew exactly where it was because it's just on the little slope bit as you come into the town. So it's not too far from that. So I said, okay. So I'll be back here at 5 o'clock. So I went off. Everything was going all right, like I said earlier. Come to pick up. There, I got told in a pub. It was about 4:30 that there was going to be a parade, and I was like, okay, I never got told that. So I thought, well, I better ask around to see where the alternative bus route would be, so we can meet up. Because obviously it'd be diverted. And I thought, well, that's odd because the driver should have said something, being that he's the one who's got to rearrange the location for the bus. So anyway, I asked this paramedic lady to see where the most likely place would be. She said she didn't know. She said to ask one of the organisers. So I thought, okay. So I asked one of the organisers. He didn't know. Then she recommended asking one of them, the manager, the one in charge. So I asked him, but he didn't know. So I mean, by this time it was like 5:30, so I had to give up because I was also going around down town trying to look for the coach as well, and I couldn't find it, and it was getting towards 5:30, so I knew I had to give up. And basically I had to catch a train from Hastings to London. Sorry about that, my throat's getting a bit dry. So anyway, I caught a train from Hastings to London. Then, because I've never had to catch a train by myself before, I went round in circles, got a bit lost, and by the time I got to the right station, because I got a little bit confused, and they said that I missed my last train to Oxford. So then I had to stay all night in London with nowhere to go and no possibility of getting back until 7 o'clock in the morning. So I was like, oh, right, thanks. So I was literally stranded. And as you know, in London it can be quite dangerous, especially when you're on your own. And it was too costly for a taxi, so I couldn't get a taxi. All the hotels were full up, so I couldn't get a hotel. So yeah, they just abandoned me, basically. And just left me to die. Which I thought was very courteous of them. I spent 92 some odd pound altogether with my train tickets and things on the way back. When I finally did get back, I told them about it, and their response was, our driver confirmed to us that the details of this arrival in Hastings, you were dropped off very close to the amusements on the seafront. The driver told everyone on the coach that he would be back to collect you at 5 o'clock. True. We were not made aware and neither was the driver, that the seafront road would be closed from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, from 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Driver only found this out when he attempted to go back to the collection point that afternoon. Well, if he attempted to go to that collection point, why didn't I see him? Why didn't I see anything? You're not going to miss a motts coach, are you? Something as big as that. So yeah, I thought that was hilarious. As soon as we were aware, he telephoned me. I had the emergency phone to ensure the passengers, when they rang the emergency number, were directed to the pier where he was waiting. I don't remember seeing anyone at a pier. Okay. So where was it? It doesn't say where. That pier could be anywhere. Wasn't one of the one you would have thought it would be, which would be the closest one. Anyway, it goes on to say he could not leave his vehicle to go to the collection point on foot, as he was on double yellow lines. Fair enough. I had 8 telephone calls starting at 4:30 from different parties on the coach, and they all happily made their way to the coach. Well, they would, because I was the only one that weren't informed. So I don't know where it's supposed to be. I still don't, because it don't mention it in the letter. So yeah, that's very informative so far. Right, and it goes on to say the driver rang me again around 5:30, say that one man was missing. He had several attempts to walk around, look for our emergency number. It's printed on your ticket. It's the mobile you told us that a paramedic rang number on your behalf. There was no answer. I assumed that the number they rang was our Aylesbury shop. Okay, but what about the other number that they rang? They rang 2 numbers, and it don't even mention that. So, shop number with is not man on Saturday afternoon. Well, I can't do nothing about that, because it was on the day where I was supposed to go back, which was a Saturday. So I also assume that you did not have a mobile with you if you had to ask another person to ring. I did, but my battery was run out, and that was not my fault, because I had nowhere to plug it in. Let me have a look, because the only thing I could think about was getting back. So I was at that point panicking. Our passengers' enjoyment and safety are priority. So why didn't anyone look for me? And a decision to leave a resort without someone is not taken lightly from past experiences. Some passengers decide to stay over and don't bother to tell us, which is what we thought was the case in Hastings. We also have the duty to care for the other 48 passengers sitting on the hot coach over 1 hour, some getting quite irritated. So in other words, they couldn't be bothered with me, basically. I was abandoned. I think that's of course I wanted to be stuck in London in the middle of the night. Oh yeah, I had so much fun being stranded in London, I couldn't leave. Unbelievable, right? So I'm just making people aware that when you travel with any firm, especially in this case motts, just to be a little bit aware, that's all. Personally, I wouldn't even bother with a company like motts. I'd make my own way up there with trains or something, or if you can drive. I wouldn't go with any firm. So yeah, that's my story anyway. This is William, also known as Iceman X23, saying be careful how you travel. Goodbye and stay safe.